you know, that whole situation that is so interesting. But you know, right now we are having people are discussing a hot topic, which is Mr. Gary Griffith and his statements on another frequency. Plus, we have statements coming out from Mr. Watchman. Plus, like Mr. Gary Griffith is making his rounds around the media. So I was wondering if I should call him today. For you all to talk with him and hear what is his view. Or not what is his view. You all know his view. Really just to call him and have you guys, you know, talk to him a little bit. Because you know how it go. If I talk to him, sometimes you all might find I'm a little too aggressive. although, you know, we go way back, Mr. Griffith and I. But, and I'll tell you how way back we go. I'll just throw this in. It's part of the way back. There were times when I used to work night shift right here on 91.9. I used to come on from 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock most of the times. And his wife, Miss Nicole Dyer Griffith, used to co-host with me sometimes, you know. Yeah, I used to have Miss Nicole Dyer Griffith in studio, co-hosting with me. That's how way back we go. For some of you who feel it's a just come thing for me, you know. And I want to say, so I tempted to say something here, but sometimes it's just good to just ignore and just to listen and be intrigued by how people are. Human beings are very fragile, you know, and are very, 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 they love you today and hate you tomorrow. Let me put it that way. Love you today, hate you tomorrow. So those of you who feel is, anyway, watch your mouth. Google, have less to see, so that you would be less accused of being, you know. But let me say good morning to all of you joining me on Facebook. Mr. Bego is already in the house. You all think I should call Gary? I think I should call Mr. Griffith. Orchid Gardens, Lockton, boy. That's my community in Pleasantville. Thank you very much, Mr. Peters, for being with me today. I don't think I should call Gigi as Miss. Somebody say, Mr. Bego say, I see today is beat up on Gigi Day. Well, Mr. Bego, I want to know if you think I should call Gigi. I'll take 5 calls. No, yeah, 5 or 6. Make it an even number. 5. You all think I should call Mr. Gary Griffith? If you think I should, call me on 342-0081, 342-0081, 771-1791, 466-5391. If you think I should call Mr. Griffith, and I'll take some WhatsApp messages, voice notes also. I'll take 5 WhatsApp voice notes. If you think I should call Mr. Griffith, if you think I shouldn't call Mr. Griffith. So send in your voice notes on 771-1791, 771-1791, 466, well, that's the WhatsApp number right now, 771-1791. 466-5391 is the numbers to call, 342-0081. Yes or no? I can get Mr. Griffith on the line. If you all want to hear from Mr. Griffith, you all can call in, send your voice notes, let me know. If you think you want to hear why Mr. Griffith is saying the things that he's saying, do you want to hear from him? Yes or no? All right. So join me on YouTube, join me on Facebook. I could get him on Zoom so that you could look at him and you could hear him. Somebody say, what will be the purpose? The purpose is to I've listened to Mr. Watchman, and Mr. Watchman had been asking some questions, and I would like to ask Mr. Griffith those same questions, because Mr. Watchman is making a lot of sense in what he's saying. I don't know if you all heard Mr. Watchman's statement. Okay, all right. So join me on Facebook, join me on YouTube. You think he will answer? Yes, he will answer me. He will answer. Trust me, he will answer. Somebody's saying, good morning to you, Pastor. No, no, no. Amen. So I'm going to take some voice notes, and I'm going to take some calls. I'll go with the voice notes first. Do you think I should call Mr. Gary Griffith? So let's go. Oh, gosh. All right. Hello, good morning. All right. When you get through, please load on your radio. Somebody's saying no. Okay. Is a voice note there? Let's see.
Pastor Google, good morning. I would like to hear Watchman statements instead of Gary Griffith. I heard up a Gary Griffith.
All right, so someone is saying they want me to play Mr. Watchman's statements. I'll play Mr. Watchman's statement. Somebody say, New Hampshire is in the house. Yes. So New Hampshire wants to hear Mr. Griffith. All right, so let me hear what the callers have to say. Yes or no? Hello, good morning.
I don't want to hear Griffith. You could play Watchman for us, please.
Okay. All right. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Pastor Google. Morning, friend. There you go. I would like to hear Mr. Griffith, but he must listen to people do that until they run blah, 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 blah. Nobody can get asking nothing.
All right. All right. So you want to hear Mr. Griffith. Manu wants to hear Mr. Griffith. So I got one yes, one no on the calls. So going back to the phone line. Hello, good morning.
Morning. I want to hear Watchman.
Do you want to hear Mr. Griffith?
No, you what it was already.
Okay. All right. So that is 2 no, 1 yes. Let's go. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, Pastor Google.
Hey, what's happening? Fishing pond?
Good. Yes, good. Living underneath some nice cloudy weather these days. Well, so far I didn't hear everything, but I think that you should really hear what Mr. Griffith has to say.
All right. So you think I should call Mr. Griffith?
Yes, I think.
Okay, then. Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Do you think I should call Mr. Griffith? Hello, caller.
Morning, Pastor Google. I didn't know me was talking to. No, I don't want to hear Mr. Griffith. He's a cry baby. He's a little boy. I want to hear Mr. Watchman.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hello, good morning. You want to hear Mr. Griffith? Hello.
Good morning, Pastor Google.
Good morning.
Pastor Google, I want to hear Mr. Gary Griffith.
Why?
I want to hear him defend himself just as all. I would like to hear the Prime Minister also defend himself. We cannot be one-sided.
Okay.
Bye, Pastor Google.
Goodbye. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Pastor Google.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to hear what Mr. Gary Griffith has to say. I want to hear him.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
I would like to hear Mr. Gary Griffith live online now to hear what he has to say to the nation. I would like to hear him.
All right. Thank you. Hello, good morning.
No, Guy Griffith, too disrespectful.
All right. Thank you. Hello, good morning. All right, you're not there. Let me see who's this here. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Pastor Google. I'm not too sure that I would want to hear Gary Griffith, but I'll definitely want to hear Watchman and what he has to say. I think that there's no defense, according to Mr. Bego, that Gary needs to give because nobody's accusing him of anything. The thing is, he's going to tell us much of the same, which is Dr. Rowley didn't want him to be commissioner, but Gary has a short memory because it was Dr. Rowley and the PNN cabinet that selected him, though he was fourth in line for the commissionership. I want to say that again because people seem not to remember. Gary wasn't the first in line, he was the fourth in line, and the Prime Minister and the cabinet chose him above the three other men who were selected ahead of him to be commissioner. He served this term, and I must say it seemed to be dishonorably for the most part, and therefore what do we want to hear from him again? If he wants to run and form a political party, let him do so, but we don't need to hear from him trying to defend something that nobody is accusing him of, that he himself is coming up with, and trying to constantly destabilize stuff and make confusion. It's time for Gary to go out into the sunlight and for us to hear about him in politics and let the population then choose if he's so popular, because he brought up something on another station that he has more popularity than the Prime Minister. This whole thing is not about popularity, and I think that is fundamentally one of the problems that Mr. Griffith has in terms of his leadership style. He's trying to seem to be popular and not always seem to be clear as to what his roles and function is outside of his popularity.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so I'm going to play Mr. Watchman first. I'm going to play Mr. Watchman. Apparently, a lot of people want to hear what Mr. Watchman had to say. So I'm going to play Mr. Watchman now. All right, so if you want to hear what Mr. Watchman had to say, you need to join me to hear what Mr. Watchman has to say. All right? Let's go with, I'll take some, while I'm getting Mr. Watchman on, I'll take some more calls. Hello, good morning.
Hi, morning, Pastor Google. All who listeners of 91.9 Constructive Talk. That gentleman who now spoke there, I am in full support of what he would have said. We already know what Gary Griffith gives, and if he wants to form his political party and challenge the PNM or the UNC, I think he shouldn't do that. But making his rounds all over and only talking, and right, it's getting very overdone and tiresome, and it could be a turn off to people. Whatever decision he has or information he has, whatever, take it to the relevant people. He's all over the media saying the same thing over and over, and it's not totally true in some of the things he's saying. I would like to hear, like some others, what Watchman would have said. And if you're going to question Mr. Griffith based on the Watchman and keep it within those confines, then I may personally have a problem. But you see, when I try to go all over the place and all that, I think it's very distracting, very disrespectful, and very unwanted at this point in time. We have real serious issues in our country to treat with, and Gary Griffith is a small dot in that kind of space. So thanks for the opportunity, and I'll stay locked on. Bye.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. So I'm going to play Mr. Watchman now. All right? I think I have it pulled up here. Let me play it for you guys. So this is what Mr. Watchman had to say. All right? Good morning to all of you joining me on YouTube and on Facebook.
Today is the 14th of March, 2022. The Watchman again. Well, I hate to say that I told you so, but I did tell you so. Everything is being revealed now. The Prime Minister gave an interview in which he reveals certain things about Gary Griffith. And Gary Griffith, in turn, did an interview in which he revealed certain things about the Prime Minister. So this will not be a one-time analysis. I'll have to do it in parts. So let me get to one of the major things to me that Gary Griffith was saying about the Prime Minister. He said that the Prime Minister whispered in his ear about granting a firearm dealer's license to a gentleman in Tobago who was a friend of the Prime Minister. So the question is, did the Prime Minister break the law? And the answer is no. The Prime Minister can talk to the Commissioner, who is the authority for granting firearm users license and dealers license and certificates and the rest, and permits. So the question will be, if the Prime Minister did not break the law by speaking to Gary Griffith or asking him a question or making a recommendation or anything of that sort, Gary Griffith said that he issued the firearm dealer's license. So the question now is, was the person qualified to receive a firearm dealer's license? And if the person was not qualified under the law, then Gary Griffith broke the law. The Prime Minister didn't break the law. Gary Griffith, as the functionary responsible for granting firearms, did grant the dealer's license in this case. So, why bring it up to say that the Prime Minister said, ask you that question? To do what? Embarrass the Prime Minister? But if the person was not qualified, Gary Griffith broke the law. But let us assume that the person was qualified, and Gary Griffith issued the firearm dealer's license to that person. Then what is the purpose of saying that the Prime Minister raised it with you before granting the license? What is the purpose? Did he offer you a bribe? Did he offer you some other incentive for granting the firearm dealer's license? Did he do anything that was contrary to the law? But by you, and by you I mean Gary Griffith, identifying that you granted the dealer's license to someone in Tobago who was the only person that you granted it to, raises a number of questions. Are you telling me that was the only person in Tobago who applied? Are you saying that you did not grant it to other persons either because they didn't qualify or because you didn't want to? And that you only responded to the Prime Minister's request because he was Prime Minister? So, who did you grant it to him on a proper basis? But now you have said that, you have identified the poor gentleman in Tobago who didn't do anything except apply and know the Prime Minister. Now you have put him at risk for a number of things, because I'm sure he did not want people to know, the whole country to know, that he was granted a firearm dealer's license as the only person in Tobago. Why do that? In a stupid, misguided attempt to embarrass the Prime Minister, you are placing people at risk. And you are also talking yourself into further problems, because I expect a full investigation to be done now. And if that person did not qualify to get a firearm dealer's license and was granted that firearm dealer's license, then Gary Griffith broke the law. It's as simple as that. So let us start there with this particular thing, and then I will move on to the other things that came out of the two interviews.
Oh yeah. shall be first. For all who feel the Almighty was so big and powerful, call him the self-majesty. Every knee shall bow. God alone is, He alone is, the one and only. To Him alone I bow. So whether you are ruler, Pharaoh, Caliph, or Lord, somewhere, somehow, every knee shall bow. Every knee shall bow. Bow unto the Lord. Every knee shall bow. And there are those who pray on the weak all day. Prefer when you're meek, turn the other cheek. Only the Almighty dollar they obey. See them sell their soul for silver and gold. Their fortune keeps mounting like a tower. They don't know the meaning of enough. They like to equate money with power. But things material rust, crumble into dust. For all who feel the Almighty, important and powerful, christen the self-majesty. Every knee shall bow. Jehovah alone is Almighty. He alone is the one and only. To Him only I bow. Whether you have millions, billions, zillions, or none, somewhere, somehow, every knee shall bow. Oh yeah, for I await the rolling thunder, to hear cymbals clash and trumpets blow. I believe wrongdoers will go under, like so long ago, back in Jericho. I wonder how our leaders sleep at night. Do they ever dream while poor people scream? The same ones who say they'll put the wrong things right, once they reach on top, become more corrupt. To the grassroots cries become unconscious, while family and friends they patronize, and then they wash their hands like unconscious, because they in charge. Feel the larger than large, warn them. All who feel the Almighty, omnipotent, powerful, emperor and man.
All right, so you heard from Mr. Watchman. We're getting ready to go for the news in a short bit. But I want to say, like Mr. Watchman today, I told you so. See, just so Mr. Watchman could tell you, I told you so. I could tell you today, I told you, Trinidad and Tobago, so. You're sitting and you're saying, what are you talking about? I remember when I had an interview with Mr. Gary Griffith, I was in the UK. I had an interview with Mr. Gary Griffith and I asked him if he has political ambitions. He said no. He said no. He doesn't. You know what he said to me? You all remember what he said to me? Some of you may not even remember. But you know what you all would have remembered? The way I responded to him. And the things that I said to him. And how you all found I was so aggressive to him. And up to this day, there's certain questions I would have asked him. He never answered. Never. But you know what? We like games, you know. A lot of us like games. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
We not only like games, we just have an insatiable appetite for scandal and sensationalism and petty, low-class thing. I don't know what is wrong with us. Who wants to hear Gary Griffith? What is Gary Griffith is going to say? Let me tell you, the same thing he is saying over and over since time immemorial. I am the greatest. I am the best. Nobody is as good as me. And to top it off now, he's jealous of he's jealous by a man who, I mean, it's insane. The Prime Minister has held a position of public for so very long, even before he was the Prime Minister. I have never heard before anybody talk about the Prime Minister being a jealous person. Up comes Gary Griffith, and the Prime Minister is jealous of him. I mean, how much more of this can we take? Let us get serious, for crying out loud, and show these people we care about our country, we care about this little island, because look at the offices that these people are holding, for God's sake. Anyways, how much of this man we must hear again? Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we're getting ready to go for the news. I can't take any more calls at this time because the news is upon me. All right? So, Mr. Paul Spain, I'm seeing your call, but I cannot take it because the news is already upon me, so I can't take any more calls right now. When I come back from the news, I'm gonna open up the phone lines and we're gonna talk a little more. All right? So don't touch your dial, stay right there. Street 919 FM.
Unity is the greatest virtue, so let them brag and boast. The last shall be first. For all who feel the Almighty was so big and powerful, calling this as majesty.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM. Entertainment, information,
East Side Plaza, located at number 32 Charlotte Street in Port of Spain. It's a sale on everything at all stores. Opening hours are from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Everything from food stuff, lunches, pottery, African wear, Christmas gift items, tailor services, hair salon services, and so much more. Everything means everything. Head into Port of Spain and check out East Side Plaza at number 32 Charlotte Street. From the studio to the stage, every Friday between 3 to 4 p.m. right here on the Street 919 FM. Radio you can see. Log on to our Facebook and YouTube so you can see live interviews and performances from some of our very own local superstars. Right here on the Street 919 FM.
Get ready! Pretty British, Brother J, and Ali Berry presents Caribbean Soca